I think that there's a difference between getting your heart broken and getting let down.
Yeah.
Getting let down is when, you know, you think somebody's one way and then they turn out to be a completely different person, or they lie to you.
Yeah.
That's worth like 2 to 3 songs of being let down.
Fabulous.
But getting your heart broken, that's worth like 4 to 5 albums.
4 to 5 albums. 4 to 5 albums.
Ever since the Tortured Poets Department released in April, a lot of fans, including yours truly, was shocked when we understood that the whole album pretty much details the relationship between Ms. Taylor Swift and one Mr. Matty Healy, the frontman of the 1975. Even more shocking was the revelation that this romance, this torrid affair, may have been on and off for at least 10 years. 10 years. So pretty much everyone knows what may have happened, but when it happened is the big question. So let's draw a timeline starting at the beginning, which is Reputation.
Are you ready for it?
So one of the clues that led me to suspect references in Reputation to Matty is the line from Guilty as Sin, where Taylor says, "I keep this longings locked, in lowercase, inside a vault." Now, before anyone comes at me by saying that Reputation tracks are stylized in uppercase and not lowercase, let me point you to my evidence. Reputation tracks are stylized in lowercase in the Eras Tour documentary. And when Reputation Taylor's version is released, you can bet my ass that Rep Vault tracks will more explicitly address the situation. Most likely, some of these songs may also be composite sketches, so let's keep that in mind while we continue. Reputation acts as an allegory, in my opinion, about the on and off relationship between Matty and Taylor. But because of its vague lyrics, we were very easily fooled into thinking this was about her boyfriend at the time, Joe Alwyn. But when we look at the lyrics more deeply, we can see a pattern, a sort of metaphorical usage that she relies on in songwriting. For example, blue, golden, gray, smoke, tattoo, etc. So let's see what metaphors, if any, could apply to Matty Healy. So very famously, we realize that the starry-eyed lover, in much of her writing, is none other than Matty Healy, based on lyrics from TTPD. Anything interplanetary, actually. Other than that, we have smoke, because he is a smoker, ghost, phantom, and similar grave-related metaphors. Meteor-strike, crash, and other words that indicate impact. So let's roll with these assumptions for now and examine lyrics from Reputation. In Ready For It, which is the opening track of Reputation, for example, there are references to a bad boy type persona, with the usage of words like killer, someone who can leave a mark even after the relationship is over. Again, we see multiple usages of grave-related imagery here, with ghost, phantom, and haunted. Grave-related imagery has been used in TTPD, especially LOML, to describe Matty. In the second para, we get a little more tease with the mention of robbers, which is famously one of the songs from the 1975 that Matty sang for Taylor when she attended his show in 2014. It seems that this song might be referencing their brief stint in 2014 when Taylor and Matty were briefly alleged to be dating each other. She is literally asking, "Are you ready for it?" because the public scrutiny could tear them down and she wasn't going to let that happen. And exactly this idea is mentioned in Endgame. I personally don't think that Joe had any big reputation to talk about that time. Honestly. But do you know who did? There's some island imagery in the song too, very similar to Slut from 1989, which was famously supposed to have a Matty collab. When we get to Taylor's verse, we see some crash imagery, everything's second best after that meteor strike. Anyone? There's some drug imagery too. Eyes or liquor probably makes her dizzy is what she might be trying to say. We also see a lot of substance imagery in Don't Blame Me. Although there's no strong indication who this might be about, the idea of referring to your lover as a drug or a substance might mean that she cannot quite get over that relationship. And also, cross the line and waste my time, they say she's gone too far this time, is too suspicious because I don't think anyone would say she went too far with Joe, do you? He is not really a controversial figure as much as Matty was at that time. And her relationship with Joe was very hush-hush when it started around 2016 to 2017, when Reputation released. When we go further into Reputation, it gets even more crazy. In a little song called So It Goes, there's a line that says, "Come here dressed in black now." And interestingly, the 1975 has a song called Chocolate, with lyrics that parallel this. In this song, she also references a relationship that was on and off with the lyrics, "You did a number on me. I did a number on you. But honestly, baby, who's counting?" It is possible that her relationship with Joe was a little rocky in the beginning, but for me, this is more Matty-coded. Even more suspiciously, she says, "But I got your heart skipping when I'm gone." Paralleling the lyrics from Cardigan. "Your heartbeat on the high line. Once in 20 lifetimes." And in the next line, she also says, "'Cause we break down a little," which is very reminiscent of Glitch, the system's breaking down. There's also something with the 3 dots in Ready For It, so it goes in question, but I don't really know what the significance is. When we get to Dancing with Our Hands Tied, she is talking to a lover who is 25 years old, and it seems they both fell in love at first sight with each other. There's a possibility that this can refer to Joe, since he was also 25 when they met. But she is talking about a relationship that ended with a lot of usage of past tense. Also, if we look at LML again, she is talking about falling in love in a glimpse. The song Peter, from the anthology, which is probably the saddest song in my opinion, refers to a lover who was 25 years old and promised her that he would grow and come back for her. We also know that they were on and off because of lyrics from Maroon, and Maroon, as you know, has been referenced in Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. So it really begs the question, how many times were they together? And I think one of the most significant times was after she broke up with Calvin Harris. And before she was seen with Tom Hiddleston, there was a gap of 14 days, or a fortnight. And lyrics from High Infidelity also talk about a starry-eyed lover who brought her back to life. In LOML, she also admits to going for someone safe than starry-eyed, which is probably the time she decided to be with Joe, instead of dating someone who is controversial. I am not at all denying that she fell in love with Joe, but I think it was more a slow burn than star-crossed lovers imagery that we see in Reputation. In Call It What You Want To, which is probably the most composite sketch of all sketches, she says, "Making forts undercover, trust him like a brother and starry eyes sparking up my darkest night," is very Matty-coded, although I do admit that the rest of the lyrics are very Joe-coded. So, that's the end of Reputation. There are other confusing songs like Dress, which talks about a forbidden love, and how she was marked by a golden tattoo by this particular muse. But that's a little difficult to decode, since golden is also referenced a lot in Lover, so I won't be getting too much into that. The only thing we can guess is that they got together, probably multiple times, also probably for short periods. And it is possible that one of those very important times were the 14 days right after her breakup with Calvin Harris. Now in our next video, we will deep dive into Folklore and Evermore, 2 very important albums that are heavily Matty-coded. Meanwhile, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And please leave a comment if you enjoyed this video.